Hello there. It was inevitable, not because it was necessarily the right thing to do, but because it was the political thing to do. Now, the big question here is this £15 billion splurge really down to helping the people or to take Boris and Partygate out of the limelight? But whatever the reason, the Tories have decided to back the idea of their Labour opponents and slap a windfall tax on the big energy companies to fund helicopter money for the masses. But those companies won't be taxed if they put more money into working towards the green agenda. However, the people will still get some help with their energy costs, with borrowed money. But is it enough, given the real costs hitting the people right now? Rishi admitted that today's announcements will go a way to helping, but that the government can't fill all the holes, and there will doubtless be many of those. What he seems to be saying is that he's found a small money tree in the garden of 11 Downing Street, but not one of the really big variety that saved the bankers and paid for test and trace. And get this, the spot price of gas, which this whole crisis is founded on, rocketed up from its traditional 60 pence per therm or thereabouts, right up to well over £5 a therm in March, nearly 10 times its normal price. And our bills rocketed with it. But that spot price of gas then plummeted back down to sit now at about £1.40. And who knows, with the glut of gas now on the market, it might still go further. So why haven't our bills gone down with it? Why is the energy price cap, the maximum amount that householders can be charged for energy, still going up? Well, that's all down to the complex contracts that energy retailers agree with the big providers. But government and the big energy companies claim they want to help consumers. So why can't the government and the energy companies work together on rejigging those contracts as a starter for 10 then? After all, this is an extraordinary event. But I'm not sure the government wants to do too much, because it has identified that this energy crisis is actually a green agenda accelerator. People will heat less and drive less too. And the more that energy costs, the easier it will be to get people to use less of it, or should I say force people to use less. Now, one thing the Chancellor said in his statement today was that the price of electricity is tied to the price of gas, so electricity companies are also benefiting very nicely at the moment, and that needs addressing too, Sunak said. But it would take time, he went on. So gas is hugely expensive, but they are now going to reduce the price of electricity in time. And that ties in nicely with the current green agenda regarding heat pumps and electric cars, doesn't it? Now, most people will be suffering to the extent that they only care about paying their bills today. The future can wait. But just a little word of caution. Millions were wiped off the value of those energy companies on the stock market this morning because of this windfall tax. That means investors are assuming that dividends won't be as generous as forecast. So what? I don't care, you cry. But a lot of those dividends do go into our pension pots, and without them, pension funds will not grow as much. Less money to pay out to you when you retire. But as I said, most people's attention will be on today, especially for those who have no money to pay into a pension pot. At the end of the day, the Chancellor has handed out too little dosh, but Partygate is out of the news and the green agenda gets a little nudge.